Be a man and do what you gotta do and handle your business and get to work. Okay? And stop doing all this damn whining, talking about, I want to be like you. I'm 30-some years old, talking about, I want to be like you, Corey. But you got to get your whining, stop whining like a bitch, and you got to go work, son. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I'm back. This past Saturday, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was had just finished doing some door dashing, and I was riding by the my old job I used to have. Like, I hadn't worked there in like 5 years, but I was riding by my old job. Well, really, I was going by the gas station, but then I rode through the parking lot of my old job. I don't know. It was 2 in the morning. I was just kind of curious because there's a Planet Fitness over there, and I wanted to ride by the Planet Fitness just to see if they're 24 hours. Because I know I'm with 24-hour fitness, and 24-hour fitness, they don't, on the weekends they're not 24 hours. They close at like, at nighttime on the weekends. But anyway, I saw my old co-worker standing in the parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And my first thing I did, I rolled past him. Because usually when I work with people, and I leave a job, if I like see the person out at a grocery store or somewhere, and I'm like far away and they don't see me, I probably go the other way. Because once I leave a job, I really don't even want to see the people that work there anymore. Unless it's a person that I have a real good rapport with or something like that. But in most cases, I just don't want to be around. I don't have to work and be around the people anymore, so I sure as hell don't want to see them out and about. But I'm not like that with this guy. I get along with this guy. But I don't know. I just didn't kind of feel like being bothered. So I drove right by him. And I went he was like toward like the side of the gas station. And I drove on by him, and I went and parked in that gas station parking lot. And I sat there for about 5 minutes. And I don't know what it was. Well, actually, I do know what it was. It was a higher power talking to me. It was God. Like, I know God must have spoke to me and said, go check on that dude. Go check on him. And my conscience just couldn't let me sit there. I rolled back over there about 5 or 10 minutes later. And I went to him, and I had fun with him. I sped the car up to him real close to the curb, like I was the police or something, like a SWAT or somebody. And I hopped out the car, and he looking scared, and he like, Corey, what are you doing up here? I was like, what are you doing out here? Anyway, come to find out, he had gotten off probably a couple of hours ago. Okay? He's still working the old job I had. It was an old part-time job I used to have at Kroger, grocery store. So he probably had got off at probably like 11, 12 o'clock or something. Knowing him, he probably still doing that. He used to stay late, get extra hours. So he probably got off probably about 12, something like that. It's 2 in the morning. So he was sitting there with his phone, looking down at his phone. He hadn't changed a bit. He's still the same old person. He was looking at his phone, and what he was doing, he was waiting on Lyft and Uber prices to go down so he could get a ride home. I remember when I was working he used to ride the bike back and forth to work, and he used to catch Ubers. But back then, he was living with his mom, but he was going back and forth living with his parents. But he, real good, hard working. I mean, he's a good worker, like that, and everything like that. I got along with him. But anyway, I was like, so he don't stay with his parents now. He stay kind of, we kind of out in the suburbs. He stayed in a little closer suburb, probably about 6 to 8 miles down the road. And I like, get in the car, man. Let me give you a ride. And I gave him a ride. And it's just like, it was just like 5 years ago when I was working at Kroger part-time. He saying the same stuff and everything like that, but he just went on this thing about Corey, like, and he used to say this back when we was working, but he said, Corey, man, I want to be like you, Corey. Like, you really got it together. Like, you're sufficient. You're on your own. Like, I like your car, man. It's a nice car. And, you got your own apartment, and he ain't never been in my apartment or nothing, but I do have a nice apartment and stuff like that. But anyway, he just know I got my own apartment. Like, you got your own apartment, and this is a nice car and everything, and you're doing, and I want to be like you, man. I want to have myself together like you and have my own car and all this, because he don't have a car and nothing like that. And you know what I told him? I say, look, man, I went on and told him how my day was. Like, this was last Saturday. So I said, okay, I got up at 7. I worked the shift at work from 7:30 a.m. to 3:30. Okay? At 3:30, I went and got me something to eat at Chipotle. Then from about 4 o'clock till about 5:30, I did DoorDash. 6:30, I got another shift at work. From 6:30 to 11, I worked another shift at work. Then from 11 till about 2 a.m. when I saw him, I was calling in the night. From 11 to 2 a.m., I did DoorDash. How many hours is that? I don't know. I guess I could say maybe that's 16, 20 hours. I don't know. But that is a typical day. Okay? That's a typical day. I pretty much go hard like that about 6 days a week. So I was explaining to him, like, yeah, this is okay. I mean, my car is okay or whatever. I ain't, I ain't like I'm riding in a Mercedes Benz or nothing. I ain't riding in a Hoopty either. And, I do have I explained to him, like, bro, like, I just was explaining to him the amount of work I put in to maintain just a roof over my head and a car. I mean, I have a nice gate. I live in a nice gated community and all that kind of stuff, but I don't spend much time there. I barely just get a shower and sleep. That's pretty much what I do. I pay rent to get me a shower and sleep. Sleep for a couple hours, about 2 or 3 hours a day. And so I really don't even really just enjoy it like that. My decent apartment. And yeah, I got a decent car and everything, but the car pretty much is just for me to speed past people that's slow so I can get to work. I use the car. I'm paying for the car so I can speed past the slow people and get to work on time. And maybe run a few red lights or whatever. But anyway, run a few red lights. But the point is, I was just telling him how hard I have to work, and the work, what it takes for me to just maintain my little bills that I have. And I know the truth of the matter, he's a young guy. He's still in his 20s. He might be 30 because he's a real young looking guy. He just got that young look. So he might have just turned 30. So he might be in his early 30s now because he has a young look to him. Okay? So I was explaining all that to him, and I know him. And we used to have these talks when I was working together. We were working together years ago. And he's a good, decent guy, but at the end of the day, he's not finna put in that kind of work on a daily basis. If he was, he would already be doing it. He'd already be doing it. And he wouldn't need a ride. I mean, I ain't gonna say he don't need a ride, because sometimes things might happen, you might need a ride or whatever, but he would have a car, and he would, you know what I'm saying? And he'll have his own apartment that he want. He wouldn't have to, do whatever he has to, live with his parents. And I think now he say he not living with his parents because his parents, when I remember years ago, his mom and dad were getting mad at him and he was going back and forth because they wanted his grown self to get him an apartment. They were tired of him living off of him. So now I took him to like a rooming house. So he rents out one room. Very nice neighborhood, very nice house. So somebody got a nice house out in the suburb. It looks like they're renting out the rooms. Nice house and everything. But, an apartment, what he paying for that, he get that room for like $500, he was telling me. So, you going to need double that you want to get an apartment in this day and age. You don't need double that unless you want to live in the projects and your stuff not going to be there when you come home. But out here where we live in, you going to need at least double that to get a one bedroom. So that little $500, you're going to have to step it up. But I know he's probably watching. Well, I don't know because I know he's subscribed to my gaming channel. But before I dropped him off, I showed him this channel here, Lord Young, and I told him to subscribe to this channel. So I'm pretty sure he subscribed to it. And hopefully he's watching this. Hopefully he's watching this and he know who he is and he know what I'm talking about. But if you are watching this, which you probably are, what I will say to you is just like I say to you back 5 years ago when we used to work together. I say, get your butt up and get to work. Get to work and be a man and do what you got to do and handle your business and get to work. Okay? And stop doing all this damn whining, talking about, I want to be like you. I'm 30-some years old, talking about, I want to be like you, Corey. I want to have my own apartment. I want to have my own car. I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be calling Ubers and Lyfts and riding on a bike and all that crap. I want to be like you. Well, you can be like me, boy. Just go to work. Stop being lazy and go work. You can be like me. You can be better than me. Not like me. I'm nobody. I'm not nothing. You can be better than me. That's what you want to be. You can be better than me. But you got to get your whining, stop whining like a bitch, and you got to go work, son. Go work.